2, 1, Dead Radio.
What up, everyone? This is XTI here with the Rogue PvP guide for the patch 5.1. I'm going to be explaining glyphs for forging, talent trees, our opener, and defensive cooldowns, offensive cooldowns. So this will be pretty much a full-out guide, and if you have any questions after that, just leave a comment or message me after in the video. So let's start with talent trees. Alright, so for the 15 talents, we have Night Stalker, Subterfuge, and Shadow Focus. It's pretty easy stuff. Shadow Focus is definitely the ideal thing to get, just because it allows you to open up with full energy. Subterfuge is also really good if you're going straight haste instead of mastery crit, just because you'll have a lot more energy to do different things. For the level 30 talent tree, the reason I didn't mention Night Stalker because it sucks, don't get it. 1130's talent tree, we have Deadly Throw, Nerve Strike, and Combat Readiness. Combat Readiness is definitely the way you want to go, just because it negates damage for up to 50% with melee attackers. We don't really have mitigation defensive cooldowns other than Cloak of Shadows for any kind of spellcasting class. So since you have Cloak of Shadows, you definitely want to get something like it for Combat Readiness. Nerve Strike is good, but since you have the cheap shot of killing the person, it only works for 6 seconds afterwards, it's not that great. Deadly Throw, we don't want to waste our karma points on this. You want to either have Recoup Up, Slice and Dice Up, you want to Evanem, Eviscerate, Kidney Shot, you want to do something with it other than throwing something at the person. Level 45 Talent Tree. We have Cheat Death. An attack that will otherwise be fatal will instead reduce you to no less than 10% of your maximum health, and damage taken will be reduced by 80% for 3 seconds. This effect cannot occur more than once per 90 seconds. It's either out of Looseness and Cheat Death that you can choose. Leeching Poison was, if anything, viable before the healing debuff, and then when they, nerfed healing, then it became even more inviable. Cheat Death, it's okay, but since you're at 10% health, an Execute, Touch of Death, Frost Bomb, Shadow Burn, anything like that can kill you, still, even with 80% reduced damage. So I go Elusiveness, just because your feint ability now reduces all damage, so if I get a full stack of Combat Readiness and I do Elusiveness, that's 80% damage mitigation plus your resilience. Sounds a lot better to me. Level 60 Talent Trees. Preparation, Shadow Step, Burst of Speed. Preparation, when activated, this ability immediately finishes the cooldown on your Sprint, Vanish, Cloak of Shadows, Evasion, and Dismantle abilities. Shadow Step, step through the shadows, appear behind the target, movement speed is increased by 70% for 2 seconds afterwards. I go for Preparation just because it allows me the safety of being able to survive in clutch situations, knowing that I have a second Vanish and they don't. Shadow Step is really good for mobility depending on your comp, and if you guys are really good at keeping yourself alive, you can just go Shadow Step and be like, whatever. For the 75 tree and 90 tree, it's pretty much you get Prey on the Weak and Shrieking Tongs for Subtlety, and Dirty Tricks and Anticipation for Assassination. Why? Because Prey on the Weak, whenever you disable an enemy with a Kidney Shot, Cheap Shot, Gouge, Stab, or Blind, they take 10% more damage. So if you have Rupture on someone, and you Cheap Shot them, that's 26% additional damage you're doing to them while you're Shadow Dancing. Automatically. Never mind the armor mitigation from doing an ambush. That's a lot of damage. Shuriken Toss, a ranged attack that deals 9.5k damage physical to an enemy, and if they're 10 yards away, then it's doubled. Awards 1 combo point. That's really good. I critted people really hard with this before, and a lot just because you can spam it so easily. Just keep slicing dice up, and you'll be able to spam that so much before you actually even get to the end of your energy bar. Dirty Tricks is for Assassination, which is your Gouge and Blind no longer have an energy cost and no longer break from damage dealt from your poison and bleed effects. Which means that if you're Assassination and you have your full bleeds on them and your poison, just gouge them a lot. Gouge them. Pull your energy and let them sit in to get some free ticks off your bleeds and stuff without you taking any more damage. Anticipation is basically when if you have more than 5 combo points on a person and you, let's say, accidentally mutilate them, you're not going to waste your 2 combo points because after you have an M, kidney shot, or whatever, it'll come right back to you. So that's good. For Glyphs, we have Glyph of Grow. Increase the duration of Grow's ability silence effect by 1.5. That's pretty much mandatory. Glyph of Gouge, that's your choice between Gouge or Blind. Glyph of Cheap Shot, increase the duration of your Cheap Shot by 1 second. So that's also really nice. It may not seem that long, but 1 second is actually a long time when you're doing a game. This is also personal, your choices. But I also recommend that you get Glyph of Hemorrhage. If anything, your Hemorrhage ability only causes lingering damage over time to targets that were already afflicted by a bleed effect. So that means if you don't have anybody like a warrior or a feral druid on your team that is affected by bleed effect, that can pit bleed effects on someone, sorry, then your Hemorrhage won't leave a bleed effect. Now you say, oh, what about that damage? Hemorrhage damage doesn't really even do that much in the first place, so it's not really a major loss. All that's doing is making it easier so you don't break CCs with your Hemorrhage. All right, let's go to a forging. For a forging, you want to go into mastery crit unless you want to go into haste. That's your choice. But mastery crit is the ideal thing, just because mastery increases how hard your M hits, and your rupture and all those other guys, and increases how fast your auto attack goes with the slicing dice up. So it's good. For gems, you want red for 80 agility and 160 PvP power. For yellow, you either want 160 PvP power and 160 resilience, or straight resilience, which we do need a lot of. And for blue, you want PvP power. It's pretty cookie cutter. It's not really that much of a choice, like unless you just want to blow people up in duels and RBGs and go straight PvP power. But it's really your choice. For main hand, you want Windsong. Offhand, you want Living Steel Weapon. Those are pretty much your only options. So, I mean, you need those two also on your weapon and enchantments if you want to do anything serious with arenas. Okay, so let's talk about offensive cooldowns. For offensive cooldowns, we have Shadow Blades, we have Shadow Dance, and we have that's it, I think. Other than like our general moves, obviously. Now, for our defensive cooldowns, we're going to be talking about Blind. Blind is on a 1.5-minute cooldown. Cloak of Shadows is on 2-minute cooldown. Vanish is on 2-minute cooldown. Prep, if you got it, is 5 minutes. Dismantle is 1. Sprint is 1 minute. Evasion is 3. Smoke Bomb is 3. Combat Readiness, if you got it, is 2 minutes. So our cooldowns are actually really long. So you're really gonna have to, prepare and use your cooldowns accordingly if you would like to survive. Now I believe that for subtlety, I go with wound poison and mind numbing poison if you have the either 2-set or 4-set, whichever one it is, 4-set. So it's really nice. Don't worry, those are my Skypes. um, But that's about it, guys. I think I'm pretty much yeah. That should be it. If you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.